Spain has closed its airspace to U.S. warplanes involved in attacks on Iran. It's another escalation in the widening rift between Madrid and Washington. Spain has been Europe's most vocal opponent of the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez calling the campaign reckless and illegal. His government had already barred the U.S. from using their two jointly operated bases in Spain. U.S. President Trump has sharply criticized Spain's stance on the war in Iran, even threatening to fully cut trade ties with the country. On Monday, the White House said that it didn't need Madrid's help for its operation in Iran. Earlier, Spain's defense minister outlined the reasons for this latest decision.
From the very beginning, it was made absolutely clear to the U.S. military and U.S. forces that the use of military bases is not authorized, nor, of course, is the use of Spanish airspace for any operations relating to the war in Iran. It shouldn't be used to go to war, one which we are totally opposed to, that we don't believe in, and that we consider to be profoundly illegal and unjust.
All right, I'm joined now by our correspondent in Barcelona, Nicole Ris. Nicole, this decision, it's getting a lot of headlines, but it's probably not a big surprise from where you are, is it?
It is not a big surprise here in Spain because this is the stance that the country has been taking for weeks now. It's a strong position from the government, and it's basically just saying Spain is not willing to be part in this war in any form or way. We just heard Defense Minister Margarita Robles there. She also called on the UN to stop Israel and Hezbollah from continuing their fights. We also heard from Spain's economy minister and vice prime minister today, Carlos Cuerpo, who said that this war was initiated unilaterally and is against international law. So we see legal considerations in the Spanish government's position there. It's the line that Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has been holding up for long weeks now, making international headlines, as you just pointed out. But it also has a bit to do with domestic politics as well. We have regional elections here in several regions. Next year we're heading into general elections. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez wants to make sure that he wins again. He is making the strong man impression here on a foreign policy level, and critics also point out that this is obviously resonating with the electorate here in Spain, which is very anti-war. So they're trying to take, obviously, the stage as well for this reason.
Nicole, do the Spaniards then, do they expect this decision to have any impact on the war in Iran? And are they expecting the U.S. president to make good on his promise to cut economic ties with Spain?
Well, on the one hand, the impacts now, for example, for U.S. military operations are that there is yet another obstacle to operate in this war. They cannot use the airspace in Spain. They also cannot use the two military shared military bases here in Spain, which makes it a bit more complicated logistically. Anything that has to do with this war, like Spain is vetoing. So there's this, on the one side, this operation that is not going as smoothly. It makes flights maybe longer, routes longer, maybe also fuel usage higher. So this is what the military operations from the US side are looking at. And I think here among the population in Spain, there might not be a strong hope that this will have a major impact on the war that is going on. But I think many people are looking with great pride as well at these stances that the government is taking, because very many people here don't believe in war. They're very anti-war.
What about the threat from U.S. President Trump to cut economic ties with Spain? I mean, is that being talked about there a lot in Spain? I mean, are people concerned about the impact of a decision like that?
Well, this is something that President Donald Trump had announced a few weeks back, when Spain had said that they refused them to use their military bases here. It was very loud on the surface. In the background, though, everything seems to be normal. So this seems to be, at the moment, just a threat nobody is really talking about anymore, because it has moved on. The discussion has moved on a bit. And also, Spain is part of the EU. So usually economic things are negotiated as a bloc it would have been very difficult to pull that one off, I think.
Okay.
Also, Spain is buying a lot of energy from the US, so for the latter, it wouldn't have been very good.
All right, our correspondent Nicole Ris with the latest from Barcelona tonight. Nicole, as always, thank you.